Let's begin.
Here we go! Hi, everybody!
Start the insanity.
You are not worried, are you?
Me? No.
Well, we're waiting.
Hello, welcome to Super Media All-Stars. We're a weekly podcast, and tonight we are talking about movies. I'm your host, John Harris, and tonight I'm joined by three other All-Stars. First one being Jake Boston.
Hi, my name is Jake Boston, and my favorite Pixar movie is WALL-E.
Anthony Borich.
Thank you for showing me I can go on without you. I know what you did to our kids, you monster! Why can't I leave things nice?
And Brent Harris.
I'm stupid?
You don't know shit about Pokemon.
We got the Core 4 back in the studio tonight. We got a great episode for you. We're going over our thoughts on Incredibles 2. We saw this opening night preview night.
Yeah, they dropped the "the." What's up with that?
I have no idea. Until you pointed that out, I had no idea.
Very weird.
But first, it's been a week since we talked movie. We got Anthony back with us after our review of Hereditary last week. You guys had a chance to check out anything new?
I think Anthony should go first. He's got the most to catch up on.
Yeah, let's see. I watched The Incredibles. I watched that a few times this week just to prepare for this. I'm trying to think of what we rented the other night. 12 Strong. 12 Strong was actually very good.
Which one was that?
So that one is about the
12 soldiers in Afghanistan that ride the horses.
me and Chelsea watched it, so I liked it.
Nice. You also got a chance to, because you were gone last week, you got a chance to watch Ocean's 8.
Ocean's 8, sorry, I forgot to mention that one. That was actually a fun ride, and I won't say too much because I know Jake wants to check it out, and maybe you two do. But if you like the Ocean's movies, I thought it held its own. I mean, it was a little predictable, and I gave it about a 3.5, but it was still a fun ride.
A 3.5 star spy movie is still pretty damn good.
Yeah.
So is this better or worse than Ocean's 12?
I think it was better.
I would hope so.
I think it was. I think they pushed the girl ticket a little bit, but not too bad where it's annoying. Yeah. And Riri was actually not too bad in it.
That's always good.
That's good.
So is this better or worse than the female Ghostbusters movie?
So much better.
Okay.
I don't even want to talk about that.
That's good to hear. Well, I have a newborn, and I had this whole week off, and you would think I would have a lot of time to watch stuff, but with a newborn and making noise and everything, I've probably tried to start 3 movies and haven't finished them yet.
Yikes.
It's bothering the crap out of me.
I bet.
I tried to watch Wind River, which looks awesome, but I can't talk about it. And I tried watching The Game, my new David Fincher movie of the week, and I can't talk about it because I didn't finish it. So I've just been watching a lot of TV because I can get through like half-hour to hour shows.
Sure.
And that's about it. So I've been watching the new Arrested Development. That's been pretty good. Pretty decent. Better than season 4. Season 4 is garbage. So
I've been catching up on that too. That's I forget.
Oh, the
how good
old
that
stuff?
was. Yeah,
The old
I've been
stuff's
going
so good.
all the way through. So
yeah.
That's
No,
good.
seasons 1 through 3 are
all
like
the Bluth
classic
family.
stuff. So fucking good. I watched this show on Netflix. It's called White Rabbit Project. And you guys watched Mythbusters, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not the main 2 guys, but like the 3 other people that were on there. Like the Asian guy, the dorky guy, and the girl.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
They have their own show on Netflix, and they kind of do what Mythbusters does, except not exactly. Like, they tried to do, like, stuff that was predicted in the future to see if they could actually try and do it. Oh, we started watching 13 Reasons Why Season 2.
Oh, I just got through that. God, I forgot to say that too.
You finished all of that?
I finished all of it.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Like, as good as Season 1? Because Season 1 was pretty good.
It's good in a different way. And do you know that they're doing another one or no? Okay.
I do. I do know they're doing a Season 3.
Okay.
I don't know, like, spoilers for Season 1, but that seemed to end, like, very shockingly. Like, a kid you think commits suicide, and then Season 2 opens up, and, oh, he's not dead.
Right.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
And then you think that the family, that their daughter, they think they're going to settle, and then this season's just like, nope, they're going to go to court. It just feels like it's not needed so far, and I'm only, like, 2 episodes in.
You learned so much that you didn't know about her, and I think that's kind of what makes Season 2 interesting.
Okay.
You want to talk good teenage dramas? I watched End of the Effing World on Netflix.
You finished all that this time?
Yep. It's only like 7 episodes, 20 minutes long.
Yeah.
It seems inclusive on itself. Like season 1 seems like it's good enough, but I feel like there's got to be a season 2 coming. It ends on a very ambiguous note that feels true to the overall arching themes of this show, but man, I want more.
See, the thing is with Netflix, even if the show doesn't do that well, but it gets like good ratings, or not good ratings, but good reviews,
Yeah.
then they'll probably give it a season 2. Like, there are not a lot of shows on Netflix that are originals that don't get at least 2 seasons.
Right.
So,
Based on how short it is, and I've imagined that it could have a huge production budget, I'm hoping for a season 2. But that one is just a dark. I mean, obviously, it sounds like 13 Reasons has its own dark
yeah, but
motifs.
it's heavy.
Yeah.
And it's so, like, drenched in drama that it, like, is... It's fucking, like, choking in all the vomit drama that it's just
really? It's like
enveloping in. It's gross.
Intense Degrassi.
Oh, see, End of the Effing World
Yeah.
has some drama, but it's sprinkled in with some really dark humor. It's a UK show, so it has a little cheek to it, but it's really good cheek.
See, yeah, dark humor I just like.
Right.
13 Reasons Why is like Degrassi, except people cut themselves. And,
Oh.
like, go, like, deeper than that.
Gotcha.
Like, it's depressing Degrassi.
Yeah.
Quick mention, a couple weeks ago, Jake mentioned, shot us a message of a Seinfeld trivia. Thinking just because that sounded fun, I started rewatching Seinfeld and never stopped.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, that's so great.
So where are you at right now?
I'm like on the end of season 7 already.
Holy fuck.
Jesus.
Yeah. So
I never finished my rewatch of Seinfeld. I stopped after I stopped right when season 8 started.
Oh, really?
Because we moved.
Sure.
And I just didn't pick back up.
Well, it definitely helps when that Danielle's watching it with me.
Yeah.
And she's watching on her own too, so it's fun to shoot ideas back and forth on each episode. Anything on your end, Brent?
I only watched one movie. It was called Mute.
Oh, I've seen that one.
Alexander Skarsgård, Paul Rudd, and Justin Theroux.
Netflix original.
Yeah, it's actually thoroughly entertaining.
from
I
the
was
guy-
surprised by it.
It's from the guy who directed Warcraft, Brent.
Oh, well,
Duncan
this
Jones.
Is, so
Now
he
we know
can
why you
make
liked
good
it.
movies.
Hey.
Hey, no, it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
He directed Moon, and Moon is an amazing sci-fi movie.
Oh, really?
With just one person, yeah.
I like this. This was like it was like a matchup of Blade Runner-ish feel to it because it's got the futuristic vibes to it, and it's a kind of like a murder mystery type thing or a detective type thing. So it's really good. I'd check it out. I gave it 3.5.
Okay.
And then I'm also about to start Westworld season 2 because it's on the second to last episode. So I want to binge it. And someone told me that the most recent episode was one of the best episodes they've ever seen on TV.
That's nice.
So
You said Paul Rudd. I just thought of a movie that I caught on TV is Our Idiot Brother.
You like that movie?
I loved it. It's underrated.
It's rated highly enough.
Who's in that?
Paul Rudd. It's
Elizabeth something. What's her name?
Banks?
Not
Elizabeth Banks.
Yes.
That's it. Yeah.
Yep.
Good stuff.
Those are like the main two.
Yeah, I liked it. I think I don't know. It's about a pretty successful couple of sisters with their brother who's just kind of goes with the flow, and they have to clean up after him a lot. But I like that one.
Paul Rudd is by far the best part of that movie.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into the main portion of our show, and that is going to be we all saw The Incredibles 2 opening Thursday night.
Ooh, wait just a second, John.
Yeah.
You brought us in with a sweet little Incredibles music.
Yeah.
Can I get another song added in? Because this soundtrack's amazing. Can you just throw one more tidbit in there right now?
All right, let's do this one. Now we've had some music to get the juices flowing.
Jesus.
Before we actually talk about the movie, I want to talk about the short film before the actual movie started.
Right.
And I think it was called Bao? Is that what it was called?
BAO.
BAO?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just say it's way better than Olaf's Frozen Turd.
Much better.
Not even comparable.
This one was just, once again, flat out cute for a short film.
Yeah.
And it does like all the Pixar emotional tones in a very short minute span. I really liked it.
Super fucking good.
I did too. I really did. But I knew about it.
The animation looks really good.
And it's just about this dumpling who comes to life.
Yeah.
Their shorts are amazing. They don't have one that doesn't work. That that Olaf one was
They
not.
found a chink in the armor, but
No,
the rest
no.
of it's amazing.
The Olaf one was not made by Pixar. It was just Disney Animation
okay.
throwing their garbage in.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a couple of their like shorts collected into Blu-rays, and I watch them all the time. They don't make a bad one. They're so good.
All right, let's jump back into the Incredibles 2. What was guys' first thoughts leaving this movie?
Thoroughly entertained.
Oh, me too. I was really kind of worried going in just because, like I said, I rewatched the first one twice and I forget how good it truly is. And so I had very high expectations for this movie, but man, they hit it. They hit it out of the park.
This was my daughter's first movie.
Yeah.
So that was really fun and a really fun experience. So walking out the movie, I didn't really think about the movie until like we were driving home and I was talking to her and she was agreeing with me or just like letting me talk, I guess. But
yeah.
I feel like this is a really good first movie going experience for her because this movie was great.
Yeah. This movie has been 15 years later?
14 years.
14 years later, sequel. For me, leaving the theater, the animation still looks great. I love just Pixar animation.
So detailed.
Yeah.
I saw a screenshot of 1 versus 2.
Yeah.
And it was a zoom in of the shirt.
I sent this to
And
our
you could
group.
Oh, was that what it was?
His shirt had fuzzies on it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you could actually see like the threading of each of the shirt. It was like that. Jesus, that's incredible.
Yeah.
The thing,
Incredible.
Yeah. I think we're going to be saying that a lot during
Yeah.
this review. The thing that I could like pinpoint the most amount of change was with Dash. Because like in the first one, I didn't think he looked that great.
Sure.
I think
And
there's
this
just
one-
so much more movement in his hair.
Yeah, this one he just looked amazing.
Yeah.
Like when they did The Incredibles, this was like the first time they did a live action family on like animated Pixar movie.
Yeah.
And it looked kind of janky because their people always look kind of janky. Like go back to Toy Story 1, Andy looks horrible. And it's
Yeah.
just like kind of sad that that's what we thought looked amazing 20 years ago.
Right.
But they've come so far in 14 years from Incredibles 1 to 2.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Some of the best things about The Incredibles was, even just from the very first title screen, the music kicks in and all these memories from The Incredibles 1 start flooding in, especially the themes from The Incredibles, which will be like the animations, obviously, but the family themes, the music. There's
The
always,
music. Let's stop here.
Yeah.
The music by Michael Giacchino is so amazing.
Yeah. Hits all the right notes of being like semi-bondish, but still fun and jazzy.
It's got like the 60 futuristic noir feel to it.
Right.
Just like the spy thriller you'd watch on TV. It's just, so good.
And it's so memorable because who all got a chance to watch The Incredibles before I've seen the second one?
Yeah, I watched it the day before.
Did you, Anthony?
I watched it twice
And Brant, did you get a chance to?
that week.
So neither did I, but as soon as the opening credits kind of kicked in, like everything just flooded back because it picks up right where essentially
Literally.
Literally.
where the first one left off. And that's in the trailer, so it's not really a spoiler.
Even as a small recap of what happened at the end of the first one.
Yeah, it's nice for people that have waited 14 years in
Right.
between. So, yeah.
But one of the best things about The Incredibles is that it puts a nice spin on the hero genre, which has been almost oversaturated up in the last 14 years in particular.
Well, yeah, when the first one came out, that's when X2 came out.
Right.
And we were just like hoping that we would get a superhero movie every year.
Right.
Cut 14 years later, we get
3.
3 Marvel movies a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 6 superhero movies a year. It's nuts.
Right. So it's incredible. At least one of my first impressions, it's just great to see how the family theme with heroes still feels kind of refreshing and nice in this midst of superhero genres.
Yeah, it's sad that they've had 3 Fantastic Four movies, and none of them have come even close to getting what like these characters do, because these characters are pretty much rip-offs. Like their powers,
Yeah.
they're rip-offs of the Fantastic Four.
Right.
Yeah.
And Pixar's been able to do it like pitch perfectly. The best part about these movies isn't even the superhero stuff; it's the family components.
Right.
Like it's what melds them.
definitely.
Yeah, it's what melds everything together. And I would, if this movie didn't have any superhero stuff in it, I would be totally happy. Just because I want to see what happens to this family, just because they have such an awesome, unique connection.
And I'd like to point out the voice acting
Yeah,
is so I didn't even think it could get much better than the first one, but in this one I do feel like it steps up even more.
well, yeah, it makes perfect sense that this movie takes place exactly when the first one ends, because I feel like they haven't like lost a step.
No.
They just pick up exactly where they left off, literally from the movie and the actors doing it and the artists at Pixar. Like, it's just like, hey,
Yeah.
we know it's been a long time, and I think it's kind of funny for new kids that go see the first one and then the second one back to back, because they won't know how long people have waited.
Yeah, they won't
And
know
they'll
the
just be like, oh
difference.
man, yeah, this is just continuing. It's so cool.
Yeah, to Brent's point, like we have Craig T. Nelson back, which is great. You had Holly Hunter back as Elastigirl.
Holly Hunter is my favorite. Like
Really?
she is so great as Elastigirl. Like everybody's good, but I think she is my absolute favorite.
I do love her raspy voice.
Yeah, she's in a unique presence, and she's not in enough stuff.
Yeah, we got Sarah Val back as Violet, which I feel like she got a lot more speaking in this movie, which obviously plays to the plot. We'll get into that later in the spoilers section. Dash is great. One of the additions they added this time was Bob Odenkirk.
Better known as Better Call Saul.
Yes.
Yep.
Playing like his kind of stereotypical, like,
Oh, that's what that guy's voice was.
yeah.
God, I'm like, I know I've heard this. Who is this guy?
Saul Goodman.
Yeah. Okay.
He was one of the nicest additions to this movie. We'll talk about his character a little bit later, but I really enjoyed his character in this movie
Oh yeah.
in
I did
comparison
too.
to other things. We also got Catherine Keener as Evelyn, Winston's sister.
She's great, and I didn't realize that was her until afterwards.
Neither did I. I had to look that up.
She's good in everything.
Yeah, really good. And then we had Brad Bird back as Edna Mode, the fashion designer, which
Yeah.
I would never made that correlation.
Oh, I love it.
It's so good. Yeah, he played her in the first one, and yeah, it's just awesome. I don't know. He's such a unique voice and such a unique character.
Did you guys get the precursor to your movie starting, like saying, thanks for waiting for this movie? It's been
Yep.
14 years, and they kind of give like all the voice
I
acting
kind of
people.
appreciated that.
It was a nice little touch just to get people like back
Yeah.
into the mood.
I think the best part about it was Samuel Jackson saying, like, you've waited a long time for this, but it's going to pay off.
Yeah.
This must be Pixar's new thing, because Coco did this too, except it was an animation thing.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Remember,
that-
like before they
It's
started?
true. They showed how they designed the city.
Yeah.
The City of the Dead.
And it's
So-
not too long. It gives you overcap of what the movie consisted of.
Yep.
It was really. I like those little pieces.
Yeah, it was really good.
We'll talk about more of this in the spoilers, but obviously, like I said, we're doing a lot of comparisons to The Incredibles, the first one. Would you guys argue with In Case to The Incredibles is more a good thing?
I think this movie takes a lot from the first one, which is sequelitis a lot of times. Like, there's an argument between the parents that resembles a lot of things from the first one.
Except flip flop.
I don't know. I mean, the Violet thing, where like she's shy and then she gains a personality, and in this one, her personality keeps on blooming, and
Right.
that stuff remains the same, and that's a continuation of story.
Right.
But I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, but the bad guy in this one kind of resembles the bad guy in the first one.
Right.
And I won't say anything else about that, but that's like my most negative thing I have to say about this movie.
Yeah.
Is that it takes too much from the first one and doesn't change it enough.
Just kind of a brief plot synopsis that you can get from the trailer, so no spoilers. Is that the Elastigirl is back on the action scene, and the dad, Bob, is back at home, kind of playing the stay-at-home parent role. And obviously, roles are reversed, which is different from the first movie. I was kind of nervous about that going into it.
Yeah. A lot of, especially Pixar sequels, usually shit the bed.
Yeah.
Usually are fucking horrible, and I'll talk more about that in the review section. This one is nowhere near as bad as those.
Yeah, I would agree.
For sure. Just because like this one doesn't rely on you having seen the first one, because they know it's been forever since the first one came out.
Yeah.
This one's like, hey, we'll give you like a 2 to 3 minute refresher course in the beginning. And then if you haven't seen the first one, great, because we take some stuff from the first one. But if you have seen it, there's enough new in here and enough fun, enough enjoyment to where you'll like it.
This makes me think of Toy Story 2, because Toy Story 2 kind of had a similar premise with flip-flopping some stories and characters.
I rewatched it. It went down a lot for me.
Did it?
Not a lot. Toy Story 1, I gave a 5.
Okay.
Toy Story 2, I gave a 4. I thought I liked it a lot more, but it's more Pixar bullshit. Like, I didn't realize their third movie in, they would do some stupid cartoon stuff to where, like, toys drove cars.
Right.
And just like in Finding Dory, fish drove cars. Like, I didn't know that was a trope for them, and I hate it. But yeah, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh, okay, this is unrealistic. As a kid, I liked it. But rewatching it as a parent, I'm like, what the fuck, really?
Yeah. We'll continue the discussion in the spoilers section, which we are going to enter now.
Spoiler. 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 Spoiler.
That is just getting
I
progressively
think
worse.
Brent got worse this time. Brent sounded like a child.
It's getting progressively worse. We need to probably end that. We need to find a new one. Or I'll just find the trailer of Star Wars and say that you know what we're truly trying to hit there.
Yep, once again, it all started because of Rogue One, and we've just lost our way since then. All right, that's being said, you have been warned. We're in the spoiler section.
Very inappropriate.
And I want to kick things off with just the action sequences in this movie, because that's one of the best parts about superhero movies, and obviously the family theme is very important. But as far as animation and action goes, in particular to the ending and the spoiler scene, how did you guys like the kind of everything that happens on the boat?
Oh, that was kind of my least favorite part.
Really? The boat
Yeah.
scene?
Just because this movie blew its load with the very beginning. Like, everything with the Underminer, I was in love with. That whole robbery
what do
at
you
the
think?
very beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, the way the first movie ends, there's like, oh, I'm the Underminer. And it just is supposed to be like, oh, yeah, we're a family. We're together. We're superheroes. We're going to stop this guy. Credits. And this time, they had to, like, pick up from there. And I'm like, there's no way they're going to pull that off. But they pulled it off in spades. It was amazing. Bad guy got away. Everybody in the group, in the family, was able to use their powers for some good, and they even combined them at the very end.
Yeah.
Which I fucking loved. Especially like when Elastigirl was trying to like pull that thing down the radiator,
Yeah.
and she was stretching her body, and
Yeah.
then Mr. Incredible had to come in and pull it down, and the way that every family component was used was amazing. And then you come to the boat, and the boat is just like another thing that they the train that they had to stop. Like, there's a lot of moving vehicles in this cartoon that they use and they have to stop really fast.
Right.
Whether it be just Elastigirl just stopping a train or everybody trying to stop this boat from crashing. Like, it's a bit much.
Well, for your point, like I think that's one of the best things about The Incredibles is seeing everybody work together as a family with their powers. Mm-hmm. One of my main criticisms is that you only see that really in the beginning and the end, like you just said.
Yeah.
Obviously, the beginning being better, and the boat being kind of there's multiple plot lines coming together.
Yeah,
and
but it's not just the family. It's Frozone
Frozone.
coming in, just like, oh, ice! Pew, 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 pew. I'm gonna stop this boat! Pew, pew, pew.
Right.
And then a whole bunch of the new superheroes that are just like, oh, I can use my powers too.
Are you hating on Frozone?
Frozone's kind of he's good, but he's just like the black family member.
Yeah, I think
that's
he's
what he is in this movie.
I think he's actually my favorite character in this movie.
What?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Dude, I love Samuel L. Jackson as this guy.
I like him too, but he's not a member of the family. He randomly comes in there to help save the day when they need it.
Yeah, I wish he was in the movie more.
He was not in it a lot. I'll say it again. He was the MacGuffin to get the family back into like superhero stuff. Like, he's the one who brought, or Bob Odenkirk saw Frozone. He's like, oh, hey, catch that Frozone guy.
Yeah.
And number one, it was easy for him to get away at that point when they first like cornered him,
Right.
And not in a corner, just in an alleyway.
Right.
But yeah, he needed to get caught so he could tell the Parr family that, oh, hey, they want to bring superheroes back. Let's go.
Yeah.
He needed to be in it enough or more because Samuel L. Jackson as Frozone is amazing.
Yeah.
Getting back to the boat, I like how they played the trope again. Maybe not the trope, but something very similar from the first one is that the kids had to kind of come in and do something in order for the parents to be saved. And this time we had the spot, like the mesmerizing glasses that we eventually learned that was it. Evelyn put them in mesmerization mode and had them as the bad guys.
And this is another thing they took from the first one. Like a guy, just kind of like a fanboy in the first one going to be the main villain, and you could see it coming from a mile away. This one, okay, there's two people. There's a good guy who wants to recruit all the superheroes, and this random woman who's his sister that comes in randomly. I'm like, oh, she's evil.
Yeah.
And then, like, she just progressively does not change her stance on evil when she's trying to talk to Elastigirl and everything. I'm like, you're fucking evil. This is stupid.
Which from a kid's movie perspective, I mean, if you're a kid, you're not going to give it a 2 cents a thought.
Yeah, no,
For us-
my daughter would not care about this at all. She would not see it coming.
Yeah, for us, like I think all of us probably saw something coming between those two a mile away because of the technology. There's plenty of plot lines leading up to that. Obviously, once the people start coming back from the superhero or being memorized, you had Frozo working the boat, you had Bob trying to turn the rudder, and you had Elastigirl saving Evelyn in the airplane.
Yeah.
All those elements going in at once and leading to that final stop of the boat right before the city. The music's going hardcore
Oh,
here,
sure.
and the action's off the roof.
Yep.
Probably one of my favorite scenes in this movie.
I would agree.
I would say my second favorite fight would probably be Elastigirl versus the Screenslaver when there's just like black and white all over in that room.
Yeah,
That looks so fucking good. The animation there was amazing.
right.
Like, it should be like strobe light inducing, which it is, but it's not like 100% like gonna seizure you.
As far as I'm going to use the word twist here, the twist villain that we get with Screenslaver, I actually really liked the Screenslaver approach up to the twist.
Yeah,
Like,
I did too.
I kind of wished it would have been like a big bad villain, which would have been an easy trope to take with a hero movie, but I didn't like the twist as much just because it was so seen far away, and the motivations were there because like they gave us a nice backstory on how the parents died, right?
You know what I didn't like about Screenslaver?
What's that?
you can just easily knock off their glasses and be fine. Like if you bump into them wrong, their their hypnotic glasses will fall off, and then they'll be 100% normal.
Right.
That seemed very cheap.
I just like the idea of anybody who watches the TV is instantly enslaved.
I liked that a lot.
Yeah, the camera guy, the newsman being taken over.
The Pizza Man.
Yeah, Pizza Man was so good.
That one was good.
I
I don't know why you don't put masks over everybody, because that mask didn't seem like it was coming off easy.
Yeah.
Like instead of putting dumb flimsy glasses on everybody, put masks on everybody.
So
I don't know. I'm picking this little kids movie apart.
So obviously with the twist villain here, it's easily compared to the first one because we had, I forget the main villain's name, but he was a kid.
Syndrome.
See,
and that's the main thing that's why I didn't like Screenslaver that much, is because Syndrome was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Syndrome is such a good villain, like one of the best superhero villains I've ever seen.
Yeah. One of the best aspects that carries over from the first one to this one is that they have an underlining story theme here of let's reintroduce supers back into the real world. Let's make them legal again. But the whole thing was contingent upon Elastigirl. Mm-hmm. Did you guys like that approach?
Sure. I mean, Mr. Incredible is the guy who breaks everything, but he wants to like save the day.
Right.
So he's doing it for a good cause, but he's super destructive. So some people can see that as a bad thing.
I really liked how they chose not to make Winston a bad character. They kept him good.
I think I like that too.
To me, it was like easy to see these brother sisters do an easily evil duo thing together.
Right.
But having Winston actually be a true supporter of superheroes,
Yep.
I loved that approach.
Well, I feel like they made him good in the end, just so if this movie does like gangbusters, which it will, they have like a sequel cred to where like they can just keep this guy and he will be Mr. Moneybags for all the superheroes, and
Yeah.
you can branch off that path. Like
Yeah.
I like Bob Odenkirk, and I'm glad that he stayed good. It just seemed like the only reason why he stayed good is because like, oh hey, we might make another one of these in the future, and it'll be easy to branch off right there.
Seeing in the trailers, it kind of makes it gives you the feeling that he's going to be the bad guy.
Yeah, sure. It doesn't even bring up Kathleen Keener at all.
Oh.
The
So
sister.
I like that. I like that they didn't give it away in the trailers. And
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Another plot device that was used that is kind of fleshed out in this movie compared to the first one is Jack Jack. Jack Jack is a huge
my
part
God.
in this movie. It
That
kind
might
of
be
plays to
favorite character in this entire movie.
kind of Bob's story as a stay-at-home parent. Remind me though, didn't the parents see Jack Jack's powers in the end of the first one?
No.
No, it was
They
just
missed it.
it was just
There was a babysitter who called them and said, "Oh, something's being weird here. This is being weird."
Well-
and then when Syndrome takes the baby
Yeah.
and is going up, the baby's freaking out, but they can't see him because he's all the way up in the sky.
That's
No
what
one
he
sees
does.
Oh.
anything. It blows up and he just falls down.
okay. So I remember him.
He goes beast mode, but it's Syndrome holding him like way up in the sky.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, because I thought that was a huge misstep in the plot line, but I'm glad that was so addressed.
To put my nerd glasses on, there's actually an animated short on the Incredibles Blu-ray that showed all of his superpowers when the babysitter was calling him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That was very entertaining too.
So they fleshed that out before this one?
They sure did. They gave him actually more powers in this one.
Because he ends up having 17 powers in this movie.
Yeah.
And they're all like, I don't know, way off from each other. But they're very cool.
No, they are.
Which one is your favorite?
Oh, Jesus.
Of the Jack Jack powers?
I think the going enormous. And just,
Oh, that was great. Yeah, the big fat baby.
His enormous is good. I like
was
his
so
multiple.
oh
Yeah.
Like all of his multiple.
I liked the dimensional one just because it led to one of my favorite scenes. That was unfortunately spoiled by the trailer, but when Bob has to go yum yum cookie to get Jack,
good too.
Jack from the other dimension. Oh, I just loved that.
Oh, when he turned to jelly, like just a
Oh, yeah.
like a Jello form, and he was getting deformed and shit.
Yeah.
Well,
I like that.
Wasn't that the suit though?
I
Because
like
like to
the
put his
fire-
fire form out.
Well, no, I thought there was another one to where like he got kind of like clear and translucent.
Oh
pink.
yeah, maybe it was.
It only happened once.
It was kind of like the big baby thing. They only did it one time.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's why I liked it the most.
I like the early stages against the raccoon.
See,
Oh,
That was hilarious.
in most animated movies, a fight versus a fucking animal would be horrible. Like this raccoon portion should have been like the squirrel in Ice Age or the fucking Minions. Like this should have been fucking stupid. But it worked. Like
Yeah,
it
was funny.
really,
Oh my
really fucking
God.
funny. Yeah.
One of my favorite scenes. I love that.
Raccoon.
It kind of
Right-
made me uncomfortable at first just because, like,
It's a baby?
well, that and, like, the raccoon bites the baby. If they didn't have superpowers, like, that'd be a bloodbath.
Yeah.
But because it's animated and because Jack Jack's some kind of super being with all these powers, like, he just laughs during this entire thing.
That part was great.
I like the setup to that where he sees the robber on the black and white TV show, and
It
he
looks
sees
like a raccoon.
Yeah, and
That
he
was
sees
awesome.
yeah. I love
And
all that.
he just looks at him. He glares. Like
Yeah.
he squints his eyes. Yeah.
I would say if I had to pick one person that I like the best in this movie, it'd probably be Jack. And he didn't say a fucking word.
Yeah.
One of the things I want to point out is Bob and Helen's relationship in this movie, just because obviously we know it plays a twist to the first one. But how'd you guys like Bob's little mini arc of a story becoming a better dad?
I like that. I like that he had to. What in the first movie he had to go take that crappy job, and he had to be the breadwinner and look like he was the breadwinner.
Yeah.
And his boss was also the principal from the Goofy movie.
Yeah, or Rex from Toy Story.
Oh wow.
Yeah, same
thing.
Yeah.
No, I liked it. I liked he stayed up all night to teach himself new math.
Yeah.
He tried putting himself into his daughter's relationship.
I think that they did such great things about dads, like not understanding their daughter's feelings.
That was perfect.
And then, actually, right before he may have pulled it, but I listened to the radio before I went and saw it, and he was like, "Yeah, I was trying to help my son with math." He's like, "How the hell do they change the way you teach math?" So it was like a direct relation to that. But it's
funny.
like
One of my favorite lines from Bob during that particular arc is that when he is talking to his wife over the phone, and she's telling him all these action things about the train that he stopped, and he's freaking out because over the phone he wants to be like, "This is really good for you," and in his mind he really just wants to say, "That should have been me," but there he's biting his pride.
He's pushing his ego to the side,
Right.
which is really hard for him to do.
Right. And even later in the movie when Elastigirl's talking to Void, Elastigirl's talking about like the women's movement. She's like, "It's not even about that. It's just about doing what's right for your family."
Yeah.
And that all goes back into like this entire Incredibles family theme, which works so great about this movie. And I think it's easy to jump to there, but some of your favorite scenes and least favorite scenes with this movie.
I don't know if it'll get enough love or not, is just like the combo team of Jack and Edna.
Oh, yeah.
Like that combo was amazing.
That
It wasn't on screen enough.
Yeah, it's very short, and just like them two walking down the hallway together, looking at each other.
Where she's smoking her cigarette and he's pretending to smoke out of his lollipop,
Lollipop,
just
yeah.
holding it the exact same way,
Right.
and walking the exact same way too.
Right.
Just so fucking good.
and their like aunts are like laughing at the same things.
Yeah.
That was my favorite part, was the interaction of him just dropping her off and her at first being so against it until he like morphs into her.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
He grows her
Oh
hair.
my god. And she just instantly, "Okay, I love our chats, bye." And is one of my favorite characters and very...
She was only in one scene in this movie.
Yeah.
I know.
That's criminal. She needs to be in a lot more.
But I love that they played it off like she's wearing someone else's suit and she's pissed about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Can you
Raccoon
think of
was
a bad
great.
scene with Jack?
No, and I think that's what actually got the most response from the audience.
Yeah.
Most of the stuff with Jack.
I
Definitely.
think last time we did a movie one, I said I don't really laugh out loud very many moments when watching movies.
I heard you a couple times.
Yeah, I think there was like 3 or 4 times I was actually chuckling out loud. I'm like, and I caught myself. I'm like, Jesus, I think this is the most a movie has ever made me laugh out loud.
When the giant baby broke through all the walls.
Yeah,
You cracked up like crazy.
I was losing it. There was a couple times. The raccoon scene, I think, alone got me
Raccoon
twice.
was great.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is amazing. I think it was at the beginning where it all started, or it was when he saw the Robert and compared them, and then it was at the end where they're like going at it again, and then they're both asleep.
Yeah.
Outside.
It's like Peter Griffin versus the chicken, except pint size.
Yeah,
It's good. That's what that scene was. It was good.
yeah.
I already mentioned my favorite like num cookie scene where he has to get back
That's so
Jack from the
good.
dimensional world.
Yeah.
But one plot point and some of the least favorite scenes that were in this movie was the interaction between what ends up being the daughter's boyfriend Tony. I just didn't like the whole erase memory plot line that they tried to play out with her.
It was kind of weak.
It was kind of
Like
weak.
the two kids don't have a lot of good plot lines. Like, oh, the girl is having boy problems and the kid is bad at math.
He's only trying to learn math.
Yeah, like that's all he has in the entire story.
Right.
And if you remember from The Incredibles 1, it ends with like him teasing that they're getting together, that she's coming out and she's
Yeah,
not
she gets
hiding,
a date with him.
Yeah, she's not hiding her face anymore. And then all that's kind of erased here, and Decker has to erase his memory. I don't know. I just wish there was something,
Decker.
Yeah, wish something more was more to that, and we don't get that really. They pretty much pick up where we left off with that one and how this movie ends.
That's a lot to do, I think, though,
Yeah.
to make that more.
I can give that some grounds as to that change. I feel like that's fine.
Yeah, I wish they would have picked up where they left off with the end of The Incredibles 2, where she's trying to balance hiding her family and him knowing too much about it. Because remember, the final scene we had with those two is them going on a date with the
Yeah.
family, And she's like, "Oh, sorry. Well, I'll see you in the movie theater in a little bit." And she slaps her mask on, and they all slap their mask on, and they go. I want to see that played out more, just because that was a fun, quick snap of that.
I'm guessing if there's a third
Third
one,
one.
you will. My least favorite part of this film is probably all of the new superheroes that get introduced. That seemed just lazy.
Yeah.
That just seemed like a henchman for the bad guy. As soon as they were introduced, like, oh, okay, I don't know these people. They're going to turn bad.
Right.
The only thing I saw was the only thing I liked about the other henchman was the Crusher guy, where he's like just uncrush, like what's he say, like undestroy or something?
Yeah.
Or whatever he says to Bob's character.
Mm-hmm. There was a cool fight between Elastigirl and the Void.
Yes.
Like anytime you throw portals in any movie, I'm gonna like it.
It was a really good fight. Yeah.
That was a very unique fight.
But the weakest two were like the Hawk and the old man
the
reflex.
Yeah. And was that an owl, not a hawk?
Oh.
Like because he could turn his head 360.
Yeah, sorry, no.
It's just horrible. Yeah,
Whatever the
very
giant,
stupid.
whatever the giant strong guy's name that was like from Russia or something.
No, he's from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
That's it, yeah.
That was great.
I love that.
Follow me.
Wasn't he just called Brick or something?
Yeah, he's
like
just
that?
Brick.
Yeah.
Okay, that was good.
I did like that guy a lot. Last thing I want to talk about real quick before we leave the spoiler section is obviously just some general comparisons to the first movie. This is kind of close to reviews, but where do you guys like better, The Incredibles or The Incredibles 2?
Ooh. I like The Incredibles 1 better.
Yeah?
I did. Yeah, I feel like the second one took a little bit too much from the first one in order for me to like the second one more.
Sure.
The bad guy in the first one is above and beyond what it is in the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the comparisons between Evelyn and what's his name in the first movie?
Syndrome.
Syndrome just had so much more presence on screen. And I loved his...
Well, he had a story arc. Like, at the beginning, he was the
Shunned by
sidekick who wanted to be Mr. Incredible sidekick, and he pushed him to the side, and he got bitter.
But he created such high stakes because he fooled Bob into thinking that his family was dead, and Bob could do nothing. Remember that? That scene was very emotional in the first Incredibles.
He almost pulled a Dexter to where, like, he lost, but he came back and stole the fucking baby, and was gonna, like, take over the baby. Like, oh, this is my new sidekick.
Yeah.
Have fun.
And for a kid's movie like that, felt like a lot of stakes and the emotional beats for the first one. I didn't really get that this time around with The Incredibles 2.
That's why the boat didn't hold any weight for me, because it was like, oh, I know they're going to stop it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I think I was saving that for my star rating, but this is the first Pixar movie that it didn't tug at your heart.
Yeah, I could see that.
I mean, there were parts, sure.
Monsters
but there
University never tugged at your heart.
Fuck
Cars
that
2
movie.
never tugged at
Fuck
your heart.
that movie. Come on. I meant a good Pixar movie. Where
So you're counting
the
this
first
as not
couple,
a good Pixar movie?
What, the first 7 minutes of Up? Where's that in this incredible movie? Or
Well,
did
there's
it
no
need
other
it?
there's no other Pixar movie that comes to the first
And
5 minutes of Up.
And I'm
Yeah.
not fighting it, but did it need it? Did it need that emotional tug that a Pixar movie truly
I don't
typically
think so.
has?
I thought it made up for it in its funniness.
Like, could it have killed off Samuel L. Jackson's character and had that emotional tug of?
I think the only emotional tug
family
we got
coming?
was when Winston's parents were killed.
And
But even that's not that much.
We didn't know him.
Yeah. So to your point, I would argue I like the emotional touch that we get with Incredibles 1. Especially when you see Bob break down from his family dying.
Yes.
And it smashes that assistant girl with the white hair.
And
I love that response.
I liked their interactions better than I liked the brother sister, even though I love Bob.
I can see that. And I know that they kind of rushed the production of this movie because normally Toy Story 4 is supposed to come out this year and Incredibles 2 is supposed to come out next year. But Toy Story 4 had a whole bunch of fucking problems, and it still does, to where they had to flip-flop release dates. So instead of having a year and a half to work on this, they had 6 months to work on this before it got to theaters.
Wow.
So it's a big
Still
fucking
good
switch.
for 6 months.
Oh, it's still very good, but I can't help but imagine what this movie would be like with an extra year of polish.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they would have worked in some of that stuff. Because I know Bob Odenkirk has been, he was on interviews, and he was talking about how, they changed my character a lot.
Really?
Like, between scripts. His character got a lot of, like, rewrites. So.
He did seem very quick into the movie. Like, he was there, but he really could have been a forgettable character.
The Incredibles always need a rich person to help them become superheroes. Like, Syndrome was a rich guy in the first one.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now this rich guy happens to be a good guy, but it's like, oh, hey, here's this rich guy who's a nerd who is a big fan of superheroes, and that's the only reason why you guys are able to do what you do.
Right.
I thought the first one was really slow in the first half. And the second half, once you get to the islands, where it finally starts to pick up and become amazing between the island and then after where the machine gets to the city.
Yeah.
And our Incredibles 2, it has kind of a slow spot in the center where it's kind of building up for the end. I think they're equal to me. I think they both have, they both do certain things really well. I think like the emotional thing Anthony said in the first one, this one was definitely funnier to me. So that had that. And I think this one has a little bit more character development than the first one because I feel like Bob's really the only one you get like a solid storyline from.
So to Brent's point here that they're kind of, to him, they're on the same level as far as quality and enjoyment. Because it's also very similar, these two movies. In your mind, were they different enough?
I think so.
Yeah?
I don't know if I really wanted different. I kind of just wanted a different storyline, but slap the first movie on it.
Yep.
I wanted something different. I really did. When I walked away from this, I thought I enjoyed it. It's still a lot of fun, but boy, it just felt too familiar to me.
See, I guess I didn't mind how familiar it was because like this movie literally starts off where the first one ended.
Sure.
Like there's not a lot of change for these characters to have. Like there's no time that passes.
Yeah.
So for me, it seems like there's reason for them to be familiar or pretty much in the same place as what they were. Yeah. Granted, I'm with you, Brent. I think this movie was a lot more funny than the first movie. I don't know if that's a good thing or not because the first movie played like a really awesome superhero movie. And in this movie, the best parts were the funny comedic parts with the family, and I didn't care about the superhero stuff.
This movie the first Incredible felt very adult Pixar.
Yeah.
I think this one feels a lot more kid Pixar.
Well, this feels like present day Pixar.
Yeah.
Especially sequel Pixar.
Yeah.
Like a lot of sequels throw in slapstick stuff that really doesn't need to be there. And if you can't be, let's say, Finding Nemo to Finding Dory, two totally different movies. Like they kind of don't even feel like they're in the same universe.
Yeah.
This at least feels like, oh, hey, I know this movie happened 14 years ago, but not a lot has changed, which is fine.
Yeah.
Like New Day Pixar, especially like when Pixar joined with Disney.
Yeah.
That joint venture really made them bring more comedic elements to the table.
Right.
And if you need to throw that stuff in, that's fine. But it didn't like hinder my experience like a lot of other Pixar sequels do.
I think this would have really bothered me if we had skipped ahead and Jack was older, Dash
Violet
and
Dash.
Violet were all older.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have enjoyed it as much. Like I love Jack as a baby. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So.
And it's awesome they had somewhere to go because in the first movie, he didn't do anything.
Right.
And in this one, he actually did something even though he's not that much older.
Right.
Now that we got those thoughts on the table, let's go ahead and jump into our 5-star review. This will also be spoiler free. We're going to go over some opening numbers, some of our critics, and some comparisons to the first movie, and then our own 5-star review here.
Should we throw in where we put this in our box office summer showdown?
Let's do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's sprinkle those in for now on for all the movies we do in the summer.
Okay. Let's go ahead and knock that out because I had this. Well, just to give us context here, this movie opened up to 18 million, rounded down approximately, which is a huge opening for an animated film. So to give some context to this 18 million for The Incredibles 2, you guys remember Finding Dory came out, and it was like the killer movie of that summer, right?
Number one movie of the summer, yeah.
Yeah. That movie opened to 9.2 million on its first showing.
9.2?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Jesus.
That won me the trophy.
Yeah. And then Minions 3 years ago was 6.2 million on a Thursday.
Oh, fuck Minions.
Yeah. So it's good to see that this
This is
movie
going to do
this movie could do some blockbusters here. And just for fun, back in 2004 when The Incredibles first came out, they didn't have like Thursday showings back then.
Yeah, wasn't Dory May last year?
I think it was June. Maybe late May. I don't remember.
Incredibles 1 opened on Friday night to 20 million. So it's pretty much almost comparison to a Thursday night here.
This will probably get at least 120 million opening weekend.
Good.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Ooh, should we predict?
Let's do it through some predictions.
Let's do it right now.
I did 145 million for opening
Ooh.
weekend for
Okay.
The Incredibles 2.
Saucy. I did a little less than that. I did 138.
Okay.
I did 121.
Oh, Brent playing the low ball, and we have Anthony at...
This is a first. I did 187 million.
Oh my
Whoa,
god!
damn!
I think it's going to make money.
That's wow. That's huge.
It's a lot.
That's a lot of money.
Is a lot.
All right, so there you
I
have
never
it,
go
folks.
high.
Follow us with us, and we'll see how this movie does in a week.
I won the last one, and we forgot to bring it up, or maybe you guys
Solo?
talked about it. Did
Is that what you're talking about? Solo?
Yeah.
Did you win Solo?
I think all of us over predicted, didn't we?
But I
no,
was-
you
I was
did
the
low.
lowest.
That's
Yeah,
right. 'cause
that's right.
All three of us. Yeah, that's correct.
We don't talk about Solo anymore.
Yeah, I know.
No,
I-
forget
I don't
Solo.
know if I'm happy about that, but at least I saw a turd coming.
All right, let's talk some critic reviews real quick. Incredibles 2 is sitting at an 80 on Metacritic right now.
Wow.
Seems low.
It's only based on 49 critics, so there's still some reviews to come out, and that may bump that up. But right now it's at an 80. To comparison, The Incredibles 1 is sitting at a 90, according to Metacritic. The Incredibles does seem to be more popular.
Wow.
Right?
I'm gonna agree exactly with Metacritic,
Oh yeah,
and that's crazy. Can I just jump into my review right now?
yeah. Go for it.
Okay, I already reviewed the first Incredibles. You can check it out at either Letterboxd or my Instagram account, Steelbook Obsessed. But I gave that a 4.5 out of 5, which is a 90%.
Yeah. There you go.
And this one is lesser than the first one, not by much. I was either going to give it a 3.5 and a 4 or a 4.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know which one to do. So I'm glad I talked it out with you guys. And there are a lot of like funny parts about it. And I think out of all of us, I was the most critical about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think it was a very enjoyable movie, especially a very enjoyable kids movie.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with a 4 out of 5, which is an 80%.
Wow.
That's weird.
To play upon your point there, before you guys jump in with your reviews, Rotten Tomatoes for The Incredibles 1
95.
was sitting at 97%.
For
Dang.
For 1. So the 2, Incredibles 2, is sitting at 94%. But here's the interesting point. Incredibles 2, with the audience score, is 93%. Back in 2004, The Incredibles 1 was only 75% with audiences.
Dang.
The first one?
Yeah.
I mean, the first one is very slow for a kids movie. It's 2 hours and it feels like it's 2 hours.
See, and that's.
I
those
loved it.
kids. I loved it too, but
Yeah.
I'm saying those kids movies that they have to hit that 90 minutes, otherwise they lose their attention and it's over.
This movie was almost 2 hours. It was like hour 51, I think.
But I would argue with Brent, there was some slow parts in the middle.
In this one?
Yeah.
I agree.
And I kind of felt it a little bit, but the animation kind of kept me enthralled to its point. But Jake already kind of gave us the precursor here with his 5-star review.
Yeah, sorry. I just jumped in there because it matched so well.
No, it's all good.
Okay.
Let's jump to Brent. What are you feeling on this movie?
I think it's as good as the first one, like I said earlier. I think they both have their strengths and their weaknesses, and weaknesses both don't have very much. So this is a 4.5.
4.5?
Same as the first one for me.
Wow.
I love this movie.
Jake, you gave it a 4?
Yep.
Okay. So we got 4 and a 4.5 here.
So I completely agree with Brent, and I'm going 4.5 as well.
Jeez.
The only thing that kept it from a 5 was that dynamic that I am used to with Pixar, and I wanted that emotional tug.
Yeah.
And it dropped it down for me. Otherwise, I thought this was spot on for a sequel. I thought it was good, and I really liked it just as much as I liked the first one.
It's not that I don't agree with what you guys are nitpicking about it, but like I completely see past that with how
Sure.
good
Yep.
it is.
And that's fine. Like, this is the only Pixar sequel that's better than this movie, in my opinion, is Toy Story 3. This is on par with Toy Story 2 for me, which is fine.
So I guess I'm not negative, but just didn't have the same impact on me as I did you guys. I just left the movie theater feeling like I watched this movie already. And maybe more than Incredibles isn't bad. It's just more the same thing to me, and I kind of wanted something a little bit different. At the end of the day, it was a 3.5 for me. It's a good movie. I beg people to go see it. It just didn't do anything spectacular for me.
I was almost at a 3.5, but I think this does grading this movie as a kids movie. I think that's why I gave it the half point bump.
Yeah.
I gave it a 4.5, even though I saw it surrounded by children.
And that's saying something.
That's saying something.
Yeah.
And you know how much I love Disney movies.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
I think you guys put this higher than Coco, didn't you?
No,
I gave
Coco.
it
I 4.5.
Yeah.
Did you?
4.5.
Okay.
Yep.
See, I like Coco better than this one.
Well, I did too.
Yeah, like I think.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I gave that one a 4.5. I
That's
gave this
true.
one a 4.
Yeah.
Apples and oranges. I love them both.
I did too.
Okay. That just kind of prompts my next question. Where does this fall on your Pixar list of
That's hard.
far as...
Fuck, is Coco Pixar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yes.
shit.
Okay.
know.
Yeah.
I've already thought about this, so that the other guys can think while I answer. I think the first Incredibles is number 5.
Okay.
In like it hits the top 5, but barely.
Yeah.
Because there's so many fucking good Pixar movies. Like
There's a lot.
my first is Wall-E. Second is Toy Story. Ratatouille is probably number 3. and I would guess there's one more above The Incredibles. Not thinking about it really. I would say Incredibles 2 is probably like middle of the road, probably like 9 or 10. They've made 20 films so far.
That's nuts.
So I would say this is about 9 or 10. Very middle of the road Pixar, but a 4 out of 5 being middle of the road is amazing.
Pixar, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's definitely no Cars 2, Cars 3.
I'm sure I would agree with you, but I love, Finding Nemo, Up, Coco, we've already talked about.
Yeah.
Obviously, Toy Story, A Bug's Life was all right. I guess I wouldn't. Now I'm just reading
don't
them
throw
off.
that in.
I'd say it's in the top 5 for me.
This one?
Second one?
Yeah, absolutely. It's up there with Coco.
Coco would be my number 4.
Oh, Inside Out. I like that movie.
See, this would fall like if we were to break in the Pixar top 20 into quadrants, like this would be in the 10 to 15 for me area.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
that's
This
pretty
is
low.
in the Cars trilogy of movies for you?
Wow.
I would say I could easily pick, if I had to rate Pixar, there'd be 10 movies above this one.
Yeah, but you said 15 to 20 range.
10 to 15.
Okay, so middle of the road, kind of
Yeah.
like me. Okay.
Yeah.
Is this better than Brave?
Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Okay, good. Thank God.
It is better than Good Dinosaur. It's better than Monsters University.
Yeah. But I think of like, for me, like classic Pixar, it's just like the weirdness of Up, the emotional tug I got from Wall-E. Like I'm with you with Wall-E. A robot movie that makes me feel.
Yeah.
So
I didn't think I liked Wall-E as much as I did until I rewatched it a month ago.
Right.
Wall-E's so fucking good.
Yeah, it's amazing.
The third act bothered me a lot because of like the fat people and everything. I'm just like, oh, that's a fat trope, whatever.
Yeah.
But rewatching it's so good. Like that didn't bother me at all. I don't know why that was in my head.
The relationship between Eva and that plant.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah,
it
it's
crushes
solid.
your soul when
Yeah.
anything happens to either of them.
Yeah. And Up has the best like 10-minute sequence ever. The first 10 minutes. Like
Yeah.
that's the best Pixar's ever done. But the fucking flying dogs, just fucking
Yeah.
animals and vehicles. People who aren't supposed to be driving vehicles
See, that's why I
vehicles
love
drives me nuts.
the absurdity of that. Just that.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Plus
that
the talking
sequence.
dogs. Tennis or ball.
Yeah. For me, to me, like going back to our point earlier, the Incredibles one is just a better film for me, and I think I just liked it because I've just like Jake said, it's old Pixar. It had a little more cojones to it.
I
than
think
The
that was the last Pixar movie before they got bought out by Disney.
I could see that,
I think it is.
and it's just such an oddball among the Pixar films. The first Incredibles,
Oh yeah.
so that's why I love it so much.
It's very slow. It's directed by the guy who directed The Iron Giant.
Yeah.
And the only reason he did Incredibles 2 is because he directed Tomorrowland, and that totally bombed. So in order for him to keep on making movies with Disney, he had to make a sequel.
Gotcha.
So I feel like he did this so he can make another crazy movie. If that crazy movie bombs, we'll get an Incredibles 3.
Yeah.
Like that's why I think they just left it open-handed with the rich guy again. So
Based off numbers, we're gonna get an Incredibles 3.
Oh, yeah.
Probably the next 5 years instead of 14.
yeah, my hope of hopes is that they don't do a sequel, they don't do a sequel without Brad Bird,
Yeah.
the director of the first two.
Right.
Because I feel like if you put a random person on the third one, it's gonna turn
It's
into a shit
bad.
sandwich. Yeah.
Yeah. That being said, if you plan on going and seeing The Incredibles 2, go see it. It is a great movie. Refresh yourself with the first one. It definitely helps. You're going to enjoy it as much as we did here.
Yeah, and you only have one movie to catch up on, so it's not asking a lot of your time. Like it's definitely a solid rewatch, and it definitely adds to your movie going experience to the second one if you have seen the first one.
All right, guys, let's jump into the last portion of our show, and that is going to be trivia. And we have Jake back in the trivia seat. Jake, what you got for us tonight?
So last week, I did trivia as well, and I did family trivia because it was John and Brent.
Based off Hereditary.
Based off Hereditary, a family movie. But this movie, again, is based off a family, which is kind of rare for the movies that we see.
Yeah.
So even though Anthony's here, he's part of the SMAS family.
Aw.
So I think today I'm gonna do the family game again. This time with a little twist, a little flourish. So this one is We Are Family Animated Edition.
Ooh, I love it.
So just like the game last week, there's an opportunity to earn 2 points per question. I'm going to read a synopsis of a family. you have to first ding in with your name. So just instead of saying ding, just say your name, so I know who's who.
Ding, ding.
So, yeah, don't say ding, you fucks, because you both did that last time.
Sure they did.
Okay, so say your name so the audience knows and I know. First, say the movie that they're in, and then you can get a second bonus point if you can name the actual family.
How many do we got?
I did 8 the first time. Let's do 8 this time.
Okay, sounds good to me.
This one is not just based off movies this time. This one is based off of movie or TV.
Gotcha.
Because animated families are very hard
Yeah, they are.
to find in just movies. So this is branching out.
Gotcha.
Movie or TV.
Sounds good.
Based off an original comic strip, 2 young brothers move away from their birth city to live with their grandfather out in the suburbs, with one brother being socially and politically motivated, and the younger brother a stereotypical black youth who likes rap music and culture, etc.
John,
Okay?
the Boondocks,
It is the Boondocks.
and the family is the Freemans.
That is correct. That's 2 points.
Yes.
I don't watch that garbage.
The Boondocks. The Boondocks is great.
Terrible.
You got to get rich.
That trend. Get off my plane.
So that's 2 points, John. Don't make me take your points away. Okay. Second one. Blending wit, slapstick, and pop culture references. The variety show Blank features a large cast of characters whose predominant personalities are blank, with these 3 characters. 2 are brothers, 1 is a sister. 3 inseparable siblings who have a great time creating havoc and mayhem in the lives of everyone they meet.
John,
Okay.
DuckTales.
That is incorrect.
Brent, Family Guy.
That is incorrect. You have one more guess, Anthony. Okay. The correct answer is Animaniacs.
Darn it.
Yakko, Wacko, and Dot.
Dot. Darn.
Yep.
Okay, score is still 2-0. John's in the lead. When this 8-year-old is not at home being hounded by his obnoxious but scene-stealing little sister and his working-class parents, he finds educational misadventures at school with his pals, a would-be bully, a spoiled rich girl, and a genius, and his best friend. The main character and the gang get into some pretty wild trouble sometimes, like the time they were taunted by a dark-humored crossing guard.
Brent,
Yeah?
Arthur.
That is correct.
Oh, I was gonna say
And
ahead.
what is the name of the family?
an author.
The Aardvarks.
It's not
The
Aardvarks.
Anteaters. I don't remember.
I didn't know until I looked it up. It's so stupid.
SMAS.
Arthur Reed. R-E-A-D. I did not know that.
DW, get out of here.
Buster.
Before you
Binky.
before you buzzed in, my next words were going to be like, when having fun isn't hard, when you have your library card.
Ew.
That shit's the best. But yeah.
Hey.
Every day I'm walking down the street. Everybody that you meet.
That's when he gets punched.
Okay, so the score is now 2 John, 1 Brent.
All right, let's do it.
These 3 main characters form a group that makes up the title of this cartoon. A group of detectives splitting a house in South Jersey. They are the first character, the ill-tempered and cynical leader, another who is the intelligent and calm one who gets all the work done, and finally the last one, the dim-witted yet lovable comedic foil. Together, they try to thwart villains who all seem to have some sort of connection to the evil Dr. Weird. That is, until they're not trespassing in their neighbor's pool.
Wow, I have no idea.
Okay, I'll give you one guess, or one clue. It was on Adult Swim.
John, is it
Squidbillies.
Is it home videos?
That is incorrect.
So that was a no to Squidbillies?
I should have put Squidbillies. I love that show. The answer was Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Oh yeah, I never would have gotten it.
Master Shake, Frylock, and Meatwad. Okay, we'll X that one out. So question number 4. This TV series is about the life of an 8-year-old visionary who, using his friends as actors, have managed to direct over 1,000 amateur films. His parents are divorced, but it doesn't feel strange since so many other kids'
John.
parents are divorced. I heard Anthony first.
Home Movies.
That's correct.
And it is the... Oh my god, I can see
Isn't
the
that what
mom.
you just guessed?
I can see the mom.
Can't say that.
It's, I don't know his last name.
What the hell is Home Movies?
Brendan Smalls.
Oh. I just remember the schooly lines. That's all that show is.
That show's, my wife hates it, but I love that show.
It's good.
Okay, so after 4 questions, John 2, Brent 1, Anthony 1.
We are family.
Question number 5. A rebellious 12-year-old Mexican boy and hopeful musician is unable to understand the family's continuing ban on all music.
John.
I think I heard John.
Coco.
That's correct. What's the boy's last name?
I have no idea what the last name was.
Yeah, it was Rivera.
Okay.
Okay.
Yikes.
So, at the end of round 5, John 3, Brent 1, Anthony 1.
We are family.
Let's go to question 6. The straight-laced professor attempts to create our perfect main characters. He accidentally...
Anthony. Powerpuff Girls.
That's correct.
And,
because
is
he
it
makes...
Mr. Professor?
No. Professor Utonium.
Oh.
Okay.
They actually say that in the cartoon?
I
do.
fairly remember that, but not enough to...
So, end of round 6. John 3, Anthony 2,
Are you proud of your...
Brent 1.
Very.
proud
Are you
of her?
kidding me? I stopped him within 2 or 3 sentences.
Yeah, that's the point.
We are family.
Question 7. The comedy adventure series chronicles the high-flying adventures of a trillionaire, his grandnephews, his sidekick.
John.
Okay,
DuckTales.
that's correct.
McDuck?
That's
See-
Scrooge McDuck's last name.
It's like,
Yeah.
is it McDuckington or something?
Well, no, the majority of the family is just the Ducks, like Donald Duck, like Huey, Dewey, and Louie Duck.
Oh, is it really?
Scrooge is the only one that's McDuck.
Okay, that's fine. So I would say no point.
Okay, I'm gonna say it's actually Duck, not McDuck. Scrooge is the only McDuck.
Okay.
It's not a big sandwich, John.
Yeah. To keep this close, John.
Okay,
we'll say
that's-
no to you.
Yeah, you got
That's
your
fine.
pity cocoa point. Take it.
Hey now. Well earned.
Okay, so with 1 round left, John with 4, Anthony with 2, Brent with 1.
We are family.
Last question. An animated show centered around a crazy yet genius old man and his grandson, which he takes on his ridiculous
Anthony.
interdimensional...
Oh, give me a second.
Yeah,
Rick and Morty.
that's correct.
The Smiths.
That is also correct.
Dun, dun, dun,
Oh
dun.
my god.
Tied at 4.
Okay,
A tiebreaker?
that's correct.
Thank you for bringing Rick and Morty on this. I was really hoping.
I was stretching to find animated families, so you're welcome.
We are family.
Okay. The main character is not your ordinary kid. It's not just because she travels the world in an RV with her parents, famous nature hosts. This character is doubtly unique because she was granted the
Anthony.
magical...
The Thornberries. And that is their last name. The Wild Thornberries. And their last name is Thornberries.
That is correct.
Thank you.
Ugh.
Boom.
I didn't even know that show.
I didn't know if any of you would.
I actually
so-
knew that.
I like that show.
Fuck. Anthony. Could have won.
Naked.
Okay,
So what the comeback?
Anthony wins the tiebreaker, so Anthony wins.
So that was Jake's.
Name that family.
We are family.
With that being said, that's been episode 47 of Super Media All Stars. You can find us on all kinds of social media. The first one being Facebook. Please like and follow us there. You can find us on Twitter at SMASPod. You can find us on Instagram at Super Media All Stars.
Yep, you can find me on Instagram at Steelbook Obsessed. I'm showing off some box sets that I have right now, and oh boy, they're a doozy, folks.
Be sure to check us out on all kinds of podcast services. You can find us on Apple. You can find us on Google Play, Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio. Anywhere you listen to a podcast, you can pretty much find us these days. And most importantly, check us out on YouTube. We post all our podcast content, video content. We post some music stuff on there. Jake just posted a Wonder Ball unboxing where he got some Nintendo coins.
Those coins are amazing, by the way.
They are really cool.
My daughter enjoyed the chocolate. I'll keep the coins.
You want to see which ones he got? Check out the video. We'll be posting a bonus video game soundtrack here shortly. I've been teasing that for several weeks now, but eventually I will post it. I promise. And look forward to later this summer. I'll be posting some of our favorite summer night soundtracks from video games.
Ooh, damn, get you in the mood.
Mm-hmm.
Roast those marshmallows.
That's right.
Hot dogs.
Yep. Hot dogs.
Hot dogs and marshmallows. My everyday cookout.
I don't want that. I don't think I'd eat that.
That's what you eat at a campfire, folks. Come on.
Do you put marshmallows on
some
hot dogs?
wieners and some
On that note, guys, I thank you for joining me. Audience, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Wonder, wonder, what's in a wonder ball?
Eva.
Game over, man. Game over.
Bye bye.
I am out of here.